Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Game Explained discussion reviewing today's Pokemon Presents. I've got quite the panel of Pokemon experts with me here today, and starting things off, Dusty Go-Goat over there. Dusty, tell them about what you do.
What's up? It's Dusty Go-Goat. How you doing? Glad to see you. Jake, we just talked on my podcast, Hidden Power, so I'm thrilled to be on Game Explained discussing the new DLC trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, heck yeah. Pokemon expert over there. Love the Hidden Power podcast. Please,
so much fun.
Check that out if you've got the time right after this video. But moving right along, we've got Josie in the corner, YouTube channel Josie Woah. Josie, what kind of things do you do?
I make a lot of Nintendo Switch related content, reviewing different games and stuff, and then I do like a no nostalgia type review of older games, like the old Metroid games. It's a good time. And yeah.
I am so curious what would happen to us all if we removed nostalgia from our sweet eyeballs.
It gets bad. It gets really crazy.
No! Okay.
It gets real crazy.
And finally, we have Kathy, twitch.tv/Sunny. And Kathy, you're like 100% a Pokemon streamer, right?
Yep, that's all I do. I'm a big shiny hunter. That's how I spend my time. Just running around looking for a different color.
You have a shiny Scizor, I have to ask.
Not in Scarlet and Violet. Not yet.
Is that like one you like, Dusty?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Wait,
Scizor is a top tier Pokemon.
So
listen,
Kathy,
I have seven and a half boxes of shinies. Not one of them is a Scizor.
So from a professional point of view, tell me your favorite shiny.
Hisuian Sneasel.
Yeah, that one's really good.
A new one.
Yeah, Hisuian Sneasel and the Goodra
Okay, do you feel like now, since shiny hunting is like a whole thing, that do they put more effort into shinies than maybe they once did, or no?
Actually, like, yes. Technically, yes. Generations, I believe 1 through 5 used to be generated with an algorithm, which is why like so many water type shinies turn purple instead of blue. So starting in Gen 6 onwards, they actually started like manually making shinies and having like a team do it.
Wow. I got a bone to pick because I think you're right, but there are some Pokemon where I'm like, they did not even try.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
There's new Pokemon where it's like they could have made this amazing, but they chose not to make it amazing. Yeah. And I think they do that to try to make it match the old algorithm. So, man, that's
it wouldn't surprise me. I also think that Pokemon just hates shiny hunters.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is true. That's a fact.
We'll have to get into that later. I love that Game Explained moment, though. I did not know that fact about the algorithm. So already, I'm feeling confident with this panel. So we, of course, all watched the Pokemon Presents today. We streamed it at Game Explained. And I went into this Presents with very low expectations. And I felt that those expectations were met. But there's so much in this. This is a 35-minute... Is it? No, absolutely. No, Jack has a video up on the channel, my evil twin for the uninitiated. You can watch that now. But this was 35 minutes. The world of Pokemon, so much content in here. It can't all be bad. So I want to go through I've got a list of announcements here, and we're going to play a little game called Party, Box, or Release. Party, this announcement, I'm taking this with, this is a good time. You'll come with me for a little while. Box. No, okay, that's fine. Maybe somebody wants this. I'm not angry at it. Maybe somebody wants this, but not.
I know what I'm partying.
Yeah, you know. You 100% you know. And then finally, release, of course. You want nothing to do with this. You want the stats are bad, it's ugly, get it out of my sight. So that's what we're going to be doing. And I want to start off top of the show with the Pokemon World Championships. This is just like, we just talk about the Pokemon World Championships sometimes. I want to toss this over to Kathy, because Kathy, you were recently in Columbus, Ohio for one of these like big Pokemon events. So you're like in the scene, you're out there. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, by the way, so shout out, hometown. And what does them starting this presentation with all of these people at this event competing in this game, does it stir anything up in you as somebody that's in that scene?
So I'm gonna say I'm very loosely in the scene. I did go to NAIC in Ohio. I was completely new to VGC, competitive Pogo, TCG, all of that. But I won't lie, it was a lot of fun, and I'm like low-key invested now. I've actually like befriended a couple people within the VGC scene, so I've got a couple of friends that I'm like rooting for now that qualified for Worlds. So I think it's a lot of fun. There's definitely a lot of hype around it. I have a lot of friends who are in Japan right now attending Worlds, either competing or just there to spectate. So I think it's an exciting event. Obviously, it's in a couple days, so I'm not surprised that they started with it. Obviously, it's fresh in people's minds. Everyone's in Japan. Go Fest just happened there as well. So
there's a lot of FOMO on my part.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone going to like the Pokemon cafes and everything.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Interesting. Okay, so what I like that I'm hearing here is that you actually had a really good time at this event, to the point that it actually does illuminate why they would want to continue to push it in stuff like this. Maybe try and get more and more people involved, because it does seem like a good and fun event. Shout out to Steve at Pokemon Cast, friend of the show, in Japan right now, doing all sorts of Japanese Pokemon. I don't know what goes on over there with Worlds, but he's having a good time. So now I want to go to the other end. Josie, you start this YouTube video, the Pokemon Presents. You hit play. You see all these real life human beings, no Pokemon in sight, running around. What does this stir in you?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of a lame start to the show.
Yeah, all right.
Honest. I mean, it's like, like it's a cool thing, but I personally, it's just not for me. I'm more just into the game scene of it. And so they opened this 30-minute presentation with something very, very Pokemon to do, but it's not what I was looking for, I guess.
Totally.
I thought maybe because I heard like rumors, right, about the next Legends game, right? So I was like, we got to open with that. It's going to be a big banger. And then it wasn't. So there's that.
Totally. I think the Pokemon Presents style, this entire presentation, is a cousin of the Nintendo Direct, if you will. I think in a lot of ways started in the era of like E3 presentations. Pokemon, they're going to go do their own thing. They're going to have their own little presentation. Pokemon Presents. That's what it is. Dusty, as somebody that is, I think, primarily in the game world in terms of Pokemon, does your mind being open, your eyes being open to this wider world, does it do anything for you? Does it help bolster your love and understanding of the games, or would you rather just skip it?
No, I think it's really exciting. I used to play. I mean, I have a long history with Pokemon, going all the way back. Obviously, we all have a story about when we first picked up a Pokemon game, but I was a very private player for a very long time. I started my YouTube channel when I finally got the courage to actually like try to create a community of people who, and meet other Pokemon fans. And now that I'm about 2-3 years into creating content and meeting people online, I'm 100% yearning for more in-person experiences. I got a ton of FOMO. I got a ton of friends, creator friends who are in Japan, living the dream. Hopefully next year I can go to the into Worlds, or even like a regional tournament. I think there's a regional tournament in I think on the West Coast, and I got some friends who are there. Tame Valley Productions, Gator X. I think that'd be fun to go visit.
Yeah, heck yeah. Okay, so I like this. It's there's something there. It's not just a total snooze fest from the start. Josie, I think I'm maybe a little bit more with you. I see it and I'm like, oh my god, people enjoying Pokemon in real life.
Dude, yeah.
Sick. You know what I mean? It's like,
nice,
it feels far off. I haven't gone to any of these events, so it feels far off to me. But maybe I just got to look a little bit deeper. But let's go around right now. Starting off the Pokemon Presents with talking about Worlds. Is this a party, box, or release? Dusty.
I'm gonna box it. It's nice, but it's like, it's not the main event. I think I captured it. I'm gonna put it in the box. I'll look at it. I'll put it in my in my living decks.
Yeah.
How about that?
Josie, what do you think?
I'd also probably box it. Like, I appreciate that other people like it, but it's just definitely not for me.
And Kathy?
I think I'm in the same boat. As much as I, talked up NAIC, I'm excited. I love it. If I was in Japan right now, it would be a party. But I think for me, being in my apartment alone in Pennsylvania, it's a box.
Listen, I'm going a step further. I'm releasing it, all right? Because here's the deal. I think the idea is fine, but I think their execution, poor. They showed this B-roll of just people like running around in a crowd. This could be anything to me. Introduce a real human being. Say this is Boxy Go-Go. and he is the champion of the
They
trading
should have
card
a Wolf
game.
Click. They should have like commissioned Wolf Click to just like narrate the whole thing. I mean, why
Is that
not?
is that somebody people know?
Yeah,
That's the world
Wolfie.
champ. And
The
he's a
world champ!
YouTuber.
The
And
world
he's a
champ!
YouTuber.
All right, get the world champ out here. Okay, then yeah, that'd be so sick. Like that'd be fun. Just to make you notice something. Because as it was right now, it just felt a little too like, this could be about anything. You know, make me notice. Okay. Our next announcement, Pokemon Path to the Peak. Remember this. This is the trading card game animated show, kind of like a funny art style about kids in school. This girl that's kind of like an outsider learning how to play the Pokemon trading card game, getting involved with this group of people. There's this caught my eye. There's a girl trainer that's like a mischievous or something. She like had a little like she looks like it. I don't know. That stuck out to me. So
She does
Pokemon,
have like yeah. I know. I see. I'm seeing the picture. I know what you're saying.
Pokemon Path to the Peak. Josie, not a video game. Did this do anything for you?
I'm studying animation in school, so I think the animation is really sick. Like I was looking at that and I was like, oh, this looks really fun because it looks different. I won't watch it, but I like the idea of it.
Dusty?
Do we know how long it is? Like, is this a full? I'm sorry. Is this a movie?
I thought
a
they
TV
said that
show?
was like shorts.
I'm under the impression it's YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
Not YouTube Shorts, but YouTube. Yeah, YouTube Shorts.
I'll probably watch it again. I'm gonna box it. I think for a
Okay.
long time now, the community there's been an outcry for more animated series outside of the main series. I mean, they just axed Ash.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Yeah.
They went that far, but then there's also all these really cool animated features, right? That I think are really it's cool to see. Anytime we can see the Pokemon universe from a new perspective, it's A-okay in my book. However, this is going to be short-lived. Gonna box it.
Okay. And Kathy?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't think I'm gonna watch it, but I'm all for having another female protagonist as well. You love to see it. More representation there, and I think just kind of pushing more popularity with TCG and like actually learning the game and playing it rather than collecting the cards.
Yes.
I think that's really cool, and like I said, I probably won't watch it, but it looks really cute. The art style to me is really cute, and I like the idea behind it. So.
Wow. Okay, I'm on the other end with this one too. I'm partying this puppy. I saw this. I see like a kid with a victory bell on his shirt, and I'm like, what is your story? Why do you have a Victory Bell shirt, my man? And I don't know. Something I really like about the Pokemon games is that everybody in the world of Pokemon is obsessed with Pokemon. So to have this show, I feel like you're just gonna have a bunch of different kinds of kids and like who their partner Pokemon are and like going on little different journeys. We've had Ash for so long, Ash and Pikachu. I love just getting new, unique pairings that aren't just starter Pokemon. You know what I mean? Because even with some of the stuff we see with Paldea, it's like, hey, there's Fuecoco again, there's Quaxley again. It's like, it's cool that like, heck yeah, this girl, her partner is an Oddish. Why? I don't know.
So this is going to be based on the TCG, or that's going to be like the main way that these people, these characters interact with Pokemon? Is that correct?
It's all TCG as far as I'm concerned. I think
that's kind of cool. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
right. They're all out of school. They're like summoning Pokemon from their cards.
Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but my impression was that Pokemon do not exist in this universe. It is simply.
That's what I thought.
This is real life.
Yeah, it's real life.
I
kind of like that.
All right. Yeah, it's sick. Yu-Gi-Oh is a good comparison, I think. Okay, cool. The next announcement was Detective Pikachu Returns. Now, this is a game. This is
to be started.
So, okay, no, I'm getting you started, Dusty. What's your qualm with Detective Pikachu, our coffee-loving boy?
This game, okay, first off, this looks worse than the Red Dead Redemption game, port to Switch. I feel like Detective Pikachu 2 has been in production for what, 6 years? I feel like it was since Sun and Moon that they've been. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Who was gonna play this? The Detective Pikachu movie was a success financially or whatever. I watched it when it was on HBO. Okay, it was good. It was fun. I don't know who this is for, and it looks awful. I don't want it. It's being released.
Whoa. Awful. Did you see Pikachu riding that Growlithe? Did you see him stuck in the snowy hair of...
Jake, this looks awful, okay? Where's Jack? I want to talk to Jack.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait. Kathy, do you feel similarly about this?
I definitely don't feel as strongly. I won't lie. I didn't even know there was a Detective Pikachu 1. Like, I didn't know this was going to be
It was on the
second
DS.
game. I didn't know that. I watched the movie. The movie was good.
Yeah.
From people that I've spoken to, it seems like a general consensus that we're not a big fan of Pikachu's voice actor.
Bro,
Obviously.
get Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, I was gonna say, I don't know if we can full on get Ryan Reynolds, but like Smoker Pikachu maybe wasn't the way to go.
It's not good. It sounds like Danny
It's just
DeVito.
like it's a little too much, you know. It's a little too
Whoa.
rugged, I think.
Okay, now let me take you back for a second here, because when the Detective Pikachu movie was announced, this was after the game existed, and everybody wanted Danny DeVito to voice Detective Pikachu because he sounded like the game version of Detective Pikachu.
That's
so now
true.
so there's all these memes of Danny DeVito Pikachu out there that you can find. They're glorious. But so now we're going back, and now we're saying it's too weird. The movie has gotten in our heads.
Listen, I don't want to be rude, right? I think there's probably an audience for this. If I was a kid, right, I'm hungry for more Pokemon games. This is fine, right? I think as an adult, I'm looking at this now being like, where's another mystery dungeon game, right? Where's Pokemon Ranger DX? What about Pokemon Conquest? There's so many people who want Pokemon Conquest. There's so many other titles that people are clamoring for, and I have not seen one Twitter thread that's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, this is the Pokemon Detective Pikachu lore universe. Like, there's
Game
no
of the year.
who wants this expanded universe? For what? I don't know. And it just seems so bare bones. It could be a cool, like, I'm sure there are cool detective games out there, but this is not it.
I hear where you're coming from, Dusty, with a property that has so much passion behind it to expend some of those resources, not for a trading card game on Switch, not for one of these other games that were spin-offs we're talking about, but for Detective Pikachu Returns.
The art style is horrid. I'm looking at some of these characters right now, and their eyes are like
wow,
a
Dusty
third of their
hates this
face.
game.
This is not good.
I have heard a lot of people dishing on the graphics. To be fair, like, it's not that good looking of a game. I think that the Pikachu riding the Growlithe and the Growlithe sniffing around is so cute. And what was it? It was like Galarian Darmanitan, like crushing things.
We love that.
Wow, this is so cool and fun. But the graphics are not the best, but also like kind of expected for like a super side game. I don't know. I didn't expect like main series graphics, I guess.
Shout out to anybody that remembered the name Darmanitan. That will not stick in my head. You could, oh my god. That's okay. I hear you.
It's Galarian Darmanitan.
Yes,
of course,
specifically
of
the
course.
Galarian Darmanitan.
Yes.
And it's not the Zen. What's the opposite of the Zen mode? Just like the
I know what you're
standard
talking about.
mode.
Standard, I guess.
Yeah, Zen
Oh,
mode,
okay.
Galarian Darmanitan. That's what it's not. but
Josie, is
close
the
to that.
hatred flowing through you for Detective Pikachu Returns?
I actually have a really different. I kind of like it. I mean, it looks like a bad 3DS game,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have like a weird soft spot for Pokemon spin-offs. I usually like them more than the mainline games, to be like completely transparent.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of bad, but I'm probably gonna buy it. And I like point and clicks, so it kind of seems like that. And Detective is interesting. I like that he drinks coffee and that he sounds like a chain smoker, but I just think it's funny.
I also drink coffee. I feel seen.
You see? That's what I was. He was sipping coffee, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I had coffee this morning." So
Yeah.
He's
That's
just
real.
like us?
He's just like me.
Detective
He's
Pikachu? He's just like us?
he's relatable.
That's okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm not super negative on it. I will say I saw one Twitter thread by somebody in video games that was like, Detective Pikachu on the 3DS is my favorite Pokemon media. And that upped it on my titillation meter, I have to say. Because if even one person feels that way. Okay, I understand that might be surprising to hear for newcomers here, but the titillation meter, we go to it often here. Okay, so that's normal. Everything's fine. But yeah, so I'm definitely curious about it. And I thought that, like, I don't know, if the mystery solving is layered at all, if there's anything to it that's not just like following a linear path, I think there could be something cool there. But yeah, it's pretty ugly.
I think for me the biggest thing is, and maybe I'm just wrong, but what I remember is that they've been hinting and teasing this game for so long where I'm just annoyed at it. Like, I remember when Scarlet and Violet launched that first trailer, we all assumed it was a Detective Pikachu trailer because it was a cop with a flashlight in a hidden
Oh
room.
yeah, the live
And
action
everyone was like,
part,
"Oh,
yeah.
this is gonna be another Detective Pikachu 2 trailer." And it's like no one wants it. No one wants. I don't know. Sorry, I don't mean to
No. I
speak
hear
for you,
Dusty.
Josie. I
No,
don't
yeah.
want it, and I'm putting that on everyone else.
Yeah, to clarify that comment too, it was announced back when Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, that's it.
Bro.
So yeah,
What
so
was
it
that?
is.
2018.
It's
17.
It's been, yeah. Oh, dear
Pre-pandemic.
God.
Oh
okay.
my God.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so it's been quite a while. But let's jump ahead a little bit. Let's talk about another game. Nintendo Switch Online features the Pokemon Trading Card game for Game Boy Color and Pokemon Stadium 2 for the Nintendo 64. We've known that these are coming since I think this past February, but now they appear on the service. You can play them right now. Does anybody care about these?
Yeah, I'm gonna play them.
Okay, Dusty, you're in. Which one are you in for?
I've never played the TCG, the original TCG game, and I love that it's like a somewhere like the overworld game or environment is halfway between Gens 1 and 2 of the Pokemon series. So for me, I'm like, this is gonna feel. You ever play a game where you're like, this feels nostalgic, but I've never actually played it. That's what I think this is gonna be for me. Also, Stadium 2, I did have that on my 64, so that's gonna be fun as well. Granted, I haven't even touched Stadium 1 on the Switch, on the NSO, so we'll see if I get around to playing it, but these are two games that I've been waiting for.
Listen, I'll co-sign Game Boy Color. I'll co-sign Pokemon Trading Card game. I think that game rips. I'm excited to go back to it too, having it on the Switch. That's a good time. Kathy, is that the one for you too, between the two?
No, I'm a big Pokemon Stadium girly. I grew up with the OG Pokemon Stadium. I actually haven't played Stadium 2, but I was really excited to see it. So I'm excited. I want to try it out.
Tell me why, to the best of your ability. Tell me
why I like Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, what is it about it? Is it the raw battling?
The mini games are so fun.
The mini games.
Dude, the Clefairy mini game is like imprinted on my brain. It will never leave.
Is the Chansey egg catch game in this as well? Oh,
that's Stadium 2, I think.
Or the Furrets. Oh, there's a lot of
I forget which one. I know Clefairy was in Stadium 1, and so was the Lickitung, like Hungry Hippos-esque mini game. That one was a lot of fun.
Definitely.
And then this one had like a Togepi rolling one. I think the Chansey one is in Stadium 2 as well.
This is gonna be my next date night. I swear to God. This looks so much fun.
With the fiance?
Yeah, this is bring it to the next level. This is crazy. Look at the
Josie,
Togepi.
Josie, did you play Pokemon Stadium 1 on NSO? Did you give it a try?
I tried it. It was all right. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to go back for me to like most N64 games for some reason because I didn't grow up with them. But I'm really excited for the trading card game. I always like the older style Pokemons, and the TCG looks really cool, and I like the idea of it. Feels kind of like our world but in a game, so I like that. And I've never played either of these, so I'm diving into the TCG for the first time, which will be cool.
Okay. I will be curious to see what your no nostalgia thoughts are.
Oh, that'd be a good video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I think our main attraction here, though, today was the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The Teal Mask, the Indigo Disc, the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero is the name for both of those things for some reason. And I guess what I want to ask before we dive into what the trailer actually showed is, Kathy, you know a Pokemon Presents is happening. You're in the Pokemon community. You're streaming Pokemon all the time. Before anything gets announced, in an ideal world for you, what is something that you want to see?
Like in general or from the DLC?
From the DLC, yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, my biggest caveat, I guess, with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was the lack of customization, which is such a minor thing, but
it's important. It's really important.
It's so important, especially to me. One of the biggest games that I played growing up when I was peak into Pokemon when I was a kid was Pokemon X and Y. And that's the first game where we got complete free range customization, and it was set in France, so they went all in on it, and it was just the best. And Gen 7 was okay, Sword and Shield had pretty good customization too, and then we get into Scarlet and Violet and it's nope, you can buy some gloves if you want. And that's it. So coming into the DLC, I was like, I'm hoping that there's some sort of something that we can change up. Because even Pokemon Legends, it's like you need to be within the time period, but you could still switch it up. There's still like hairstyles and colors.
What do you think that was? Like,
things.
why do you think they actually, that has to be like a deliberate choice on Game Freak's part to limit the clothing options, right?
I'm not
It's not
sure.
I can't imagine that being like difficult to implement.
I know that because my thing is, obviously, like, we're set in school. We're a student. And I think that it was mostly to be like an identifier where if you change your clothes, no one's going to know you're a student. But I feel like, and I'm not a game dev, I don't know, but I felt like it could have been really, really easy to have customization be an unlockable thing after you beat the story of the game.
You graduate. You graduate
when you
from the
graduate
academy.
School, and you know, you have the whole thing with Team Star about how they're like, spoiler, welcomed back into the school, and like their whole thing was that they were just trying to express themselves and their style, and like opening it up to that. I would have loved to see that kind of be like, okay, well now first of all, I've graduated, and second of all, like I've gone through this story about like self-expression and letting people wear what they want, blah blah blah, whatever. It's like, why can't I now change my outfit or unlock hairstyles or something?
I love that you pulled that in. That's 100%, because you're right. There's an establishment of a theme, and that never pays off in the video game way. It pays off in like them telling you it pays off, but you don't get to feel that paying off. And I don't want to undersell the clothing stuff in Pokemon, because so much of this is supposed to be you're on your adventure. It is about the simple, meaningless choices that you make along the way. You know, do you level up a whole party, or do you just train a Charizard to level 100? It's like, that's a simple little choice, and just like the clothes you wear, I think. I think I have a theory about why this is the case, and I do think it's for, people always ask, like, oh, Mega Evolution, why don't you carry that forward? Why don't you carry the gimmicks forward instead of having a new one each time? I think for some reason the Pokemon Company is very attached to having identifiers for each game, for saying, this is the one where you are X, this is the one where you are Y. And for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, they said, you have to look like a nerd. You are nerd locked for the whole game. I hope you like shorts and high socks.
It's not even a nerd. It's just like the clothes just meshes so poorly. And if the games were Ruby and Sapphire, all of the fits would look sick. But it's Scarlet and Violet. It's orange and like a violet. It's not even violet. Violet would look nice. It's like a neon blue. It's like the Reddit colors. I mean, the Discord colors. It's so bright.
Well, what's weird too is that Scarlet is not the color that they use all the time in the game. Like, they use it in the logo, but your clothes are decidedly orange. Yeah. So
I guess it's orange and grape. That's what it is.
Well, yeah, but then they should have named it something else. But yeah, I agree, Dusty. It probably would have been better for my taste if it was like Pokemon Off-White and Pokemon Navy. You know,
Pokemon Gucci.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Pokemon Nike. That would be sick.
But anyway, so we get this trailer for, I like that. I like that want. We get this trailer for the teal mask and the indigo disc. And Kathy, do you feel your wants for clothing options are addressed here, or not really?
Like, definitely not. I mean, obviously in teal mask we get a little different outfit, and the girl hairstyle is pretty cute. And then in indigo disc, there's the Blueberry Academy outfit that I think we get, which is mildly better than the Scarlet and Violet school uniforms. I like the blue. Speaking of Pokemon Navy, we get the blue outfit, which I think looks nice compared to the other ones, but it's still not that like full-on self-expression. And again, we've only seen that one color of the, like, I forget what it's called, like the kimono outfit in
the green and blue.
We've only seen the green. I would love to know if that comes in different colors. Like, can I get a pink one? Can I get a blue one, or whatever?
I love those outfits.
Is it literally just that green because it's the teal mask, and so you need to match the legendary?
I think it might be that green.
I think it also might be that, because it needs to go with the color, where it's like, okay, we're wearing teal in the teal mask, and we're wearing blue/indigo in the indigo disc.
There might be another unlockable color mode at the very end of the game in the Crown Tundra, which was the Generation 8 DLC. you walked around in like the orange snowsuit,
right.
but at the very end you get like a golden suit, which is also not that drippy. It's just
No.
like it's just kind of like it's like a Fortnite skin.
Yeah, it is. Dusty, in this DLC trailer, what made you go, heck yes?
Oh, dude, it's the Raikou paradox.
That's correct. Thank you for
I think
bringing
it's so
this up.
cool. I think it's so
Yes.
cool. I'm a Raikou day oneer. Like that's
Yeah.
Raikou has always been the elite, legendary beast from Johto. I'm
Interesting.
trying to get a picture up right here, because again, this happens a lot for me where the in-game model does not look that cool, and then like the artwork looks sick, or vice versa. But I think it's so cool. I actually didn't even think I went the full circle where I was like, when we got Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, I thought, oh, they're the classic theory. Oh, there must be paradox for the other two of each of these trios. And then I went all the way around the theory, the theory thing where I said, oh, that's not happening. We're going to get something else. Paradox Mewtwo people were talking about this week. But I'm so glad that this is what we got. I think this Raging Bolt looks absolutely incredible. I can't believe we even got, dude, we got regional regional evolutions for Generation 8 Pokemon. That actually has to be the craziest thing. To think that we got new forms, new evolutions, or regionals, whatever, new iterations of Pokemon that were only introduced 3 years ago. That is, to me, is absolutely incredible.
See,
and a precedent that we haven't
Yeah.
seen since Generation 4.
Let me tell you. See, Dusty, you're doing something right now. You're speaking with an enthusiasm in your voice that's making me feel like I am a grumpus. Okay, you're making me go, why didn't I care as much about what's happening right now? And
Hit me,
I guess,
Jake, hit me.
Well, so yeah, here's what I'm thinking.
What are you thinking?
So first off, the Raikou thing, I look at him and I don't go, oh my god, he's so cool. I go, oh my god, he's a huge, disgusting weirdo, which is exactly what I want in a Pokemon. I'm like,
It matches the customizable clothes, right?
He's
That's how my player character feels.
But he's got a long neck, so he can look through the clouds he generated for himself.
Yeah,
That-
it's Littlefoot. It's
beautiful.
the Land Before Time. It's Jurassic Park. I love it. It's a dinosaur. It's so cool.
But like the regional forms, the different evolutions, the Pokemon stuff. Is it enough to just go, okay, we're getting a new Pokemon DLC? Well, there's probably going to be a handful of new Pokemon in it, along with a handful of returning ones. Should I be content with that? Isn't that just meeting the expectation?
What? That all we need is new Pokemon? That we don't
'Cause
need to go far and beyond?
Because here's my question. You watch this DLC trailer. You go up to somebody, you say, hey, they showed the new DLC. There's new Pokemon in it.
Yeah.
Is that the headline?
The headline for me is always new Pokemon, okay? The headline for me, these Pokemon live forever. When a new Pokemon introduced, it's not, oh, that's cool, it's a new feature. A new Pokemon means a new being in the Pokemon universe. We're going to see these Pokemon in TCG. We're going to see these Pokemon in anime, plushies. There's going to be kids growing up, not with Charmanders, but with Archaludon plushies. And they're going to look like abominations, but they're going to be cute, and they're going to be part of that kid's childhood. And we're going to see that these Pokemon are forever. Each one of these is like a little bit of a, it's like Arceus reaching out to us, right? Giving us some life.
I like they don't have Charmander.
Well, they're gonna have Fuecoco. They're gonna have Fuecoco, which is right, or instead of Porygon or whatever.
Josie,
right?
you haven't been Pokemon. You haven't been with Pokemon for a long time. You see a couple of these new weirdos come out. I gotta say, the group this time,
they're weird.
They're bizarre.
They're insane. There's never anything anymore that's just like, oh yeah, that's a dog.
Yeah, it's cute.
We got a flamingo. Flamingo was
That's
literally
true.
a flamingo.
That's true. I do like him. But so Josie, does the new Pokemon, does that do anything for you? Does that excite?
I think they're fine. I liked the apple one. It was funny. The candy apple thing.
Yeah.
I want to say Diplin.
Yeah.
Thank God, because if I made that up, very embarrassing. That would have been.
No, Diplin is correct.
Okay. All right. But yeah, so you like the new ones, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't ever like super thrilled about this DLC. I don't really know why. It just wasn't something that like immediately captured me. I like the idea of like a new academy and going there and seeing what that story has, because I thought the story in Scarlet and Violet was actually pretty decent. Like. For a Pokemon game. It was better than usual. And so I'm excited to see what that means, and I like just having a new area to explore, but most of these Pokemon are so insane that it's not like, oh, that's cute, that's a new thing to look at, like, eh.
I
They're not going on the
appreciate
team.
I appreciate that you're focused and appreciating the story that this game could offer. I think Jake, you and I talked on Hidden Power and kind of discussing how, for me at least, the Pokemon are the best thing. The character designs of Game Freak are their best redeeming quality. But I feel like you're kind of opening up my mind. Like, I should probably spend more time paying attention to the story or the experience of the DLC and not just these new flashy things that are, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, me too, honestly,
I appreciate
Josie,
that, Josie.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot that I liked the Scarlet and Violet DLC or story. I did. I really liked it, actually. It was a step in a certain direction for Pokemon. And you know what? For me, it was that more clearly than any other past Pokemon game, I felt the evocation of what would eventually be the anime. I was like, oh, I know exactly what you're going to be like in the anime. And I think a lot of that is character design. And yeah, it is really good. Even the new characters they show here, I'm like, you're all
they
cool.
look great.
You're all good. Good job, everybody. Like, yeah, so that is something. But just you also mentioned the new area to explore. That's got to be a big part of this. I was a little, I think, disappointed that maybe it's just out of the realm of their capabilities. But I look at all the different biomes and I go, we've seen those. We've been to all of those. They're already on the original map. There's no biome there that I felt was unique. Maybe I'm wrong, but Kathy, is like a shiny hunter, is it exciting to you that like, oh, okay, I'll have a new area to run around in and do shiny hunts? Is that something?
Yeah. Sorry, my cat just hopped in my lap.
Hi, Evie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, obviously, like, the biomes aren't necessarily new, but the Pokemon in them are going to be new. So from a shiny hunting standpoint, that's really exciting to me. It's going to be like ice types that aren't in the game yet in the tundra biome. And, like Doduo, Dodrio, I think we're in like a desert biome or something. Sentret is coming back. I love Sentret, Gligar, Apom. So there's a lot of Pokemon that aren't currently in the game yet that we're going to be seeing in those biomes. So I'm not like too upset that it's like, oh no, I've seen this biome before. Like it's going to be similar scenery. What's more important to me is the Pokemon in them, and those are definitely going to be different. So, because that means new shinies. So I'm excited about that.
Cool. Box, release, or party on your legendary bike being able to fly.
Oh, that's a party for me.
That's a party.
Here's the twist, guys. In the fine print, it says that you can only fly upwards in this specific location at the Blueberry Academy in the dome, the multi-terrain
dome exclusive.
Dome.
I have changed my answer.
but also in the fine print it says for the time being. It says something like you can only do it here, but maybe you can do it in the future. It literally says that. So
okay.
Until that is something I can do in like the overworld. No, who am I kidding? I'll still catch it. I'll catch it.
Wow, you're still
because it's still sick. I think that's like a feature that's like you can't even do that in Zelda. Think about it. You can't even go up in Tears of the Kingdom. So that's actually a win.
Kathy, you're in on this too.
Yeah, I'm excited to fly, but I want to be able to fly everywhere. Like I think one of the biggest game changers in Legends was Braviary. Like the game is not the same before and after Braviary, and obviously like Braviary can't actively go up. Like you eventually, it's like kind of a glide like what we have now where you eventually end up going down. But if we're able to fully go up and like fly around the entire map, that would be fire if that ends up being a thing later on.
Josie, you into the flying?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I'd like to see it implemented all over, but I hope that they do the mechanics well, though. I mean, I feel like that's really important. I just hoping that they don't fumble the bag there, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
I was going to say my guess is the reason that it's not going to be available everywhere is because the game is already broken enough, and I can't imagine them trying to render the entire map from like high up.
Sure. Yeah, maybe it's easier to do within the dome. They've figured something out. I hear that. Josie, I'm sensing a fumble. I'm sensing a fumble.
Yeah.
And I just watching that trailer, the speed at which our little dude is flying, I'm having like Superman 64 PTSD going through the rings. It's one of these things that I look at it and I go, is this going to be another feature that I go, why is this better in Legends Arceus? Why, there are just some things in Scarlet and Violet that I'm like, what is going on? You guys did this once. Do it again. Like
Mass release, overworld shinies making noise and sparkling.
I will never get over the fact that we can't just like throw our Pokemon out with the smoothness that we can in Legends Arceus.
That's gonna be a feature forever going forward.
Agreed. And even here we go. The shiny noise is gone in Scarlet and Violet, where in a game that you could use it more than ever, I would say. There's so many little things like that it feels like a step back. And I got the sense watching the trailer for the DLC that I was like, man, a lot of this is reminding me of Legends, actually. I feel like they were trying to get that, capture that vibe a little bit. And I just don't know if within the realm of Scarlet and Violet, they can stick the landing.
Yeah, it's tough. There's always Gen 10.
There's always Gen 10.
Jeez.
That's been my motto.
It's so broken. I don't know. I want them to finally push out that patch that we were supposed to get.
I don't think that's coming. I get a little bit of hope because I felt like because there were separate areas, the DLC of Generation 8, those areas were a lot cleaner, a lot smoother, a lot more pretty. It was a full open wild area. So I think there is hope for these new locations. They are separate from Paldea canonically and mechanically. So we'll see.
Yeah. That's a lot of hope there, buddy. But we'll see. I mean, you're right. Maybe who knows? Maybe we will just have a sharper thing here. Was anybody expecting to hear about a patch today? Was anybody expecting that?
I wasn't.
Yeah. No.
I would love to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, half of the outbreaks are broken.
Okay, so even as somebody that's playing Pokemon like every day, you're wanting of a patch.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Like Ditto outbreaks, Zoroark outbreaks don't work. Any of the cool forms, like if you get a form Tauros outbreak, it just ends up being the regular Tauros. Tatsugiri, I think, can only be orange. Anything like that, it stinks. And then like half of the outbreaks spawn in a wall. I'm like, this is not gonna work. I think there's the potential of like an Eevee outbreak spawning in the gym, like mini game or whatever, like near the either some Flora situation or I don't remember, but half of the outbreaks you either can't do or they are not what they say they are.
Okay.
So it's like
So beyond performance, you're talking about functional problems that need to be fixed.
Yeah. Performance stinks. Obviously, like people are still experiencing crashes. I've had a million issues trying to do Terra raids with delay and lag. They fixed the play rough glitch from the beginning of the game.
Right.
That didn't really do much.
Nintendo games, specifically Pokemon games, have always felt like a nice little safe place for me growing up, right? Compared to PlayStation, Xbox, PC. I'm like, these games are not going to lag. These games are not going to load. They're not going to crash. I can trust that the hardware is going to maintain my files, especially my Pokemon, right, for years to come. And Scarlet and Violet is the first entries. I guess maybe, BDSP was probably the first entry where I have just not felt safe moving Pokemon up into these new games, where I felt like something could just crash and I could wipe out all like 10 years of memories.
Yeah, what's interesting here is that I think there was a part of me that maybe like a year ago would have been curious to know what the conversation was like about Scarlet and Violet. Are we still a little burned by the state the game released in, the state the game is currently in? And I guess the answer to that question is yes. We are burned. And I'm wondering if there is a way to get some of that goodwill back. And if that way is with a patch. I think our first indication will, of course, be when the DLC comes out. That will probably accompany a new version number for the game. And maybe that will have improvements. We will have to,
For me, Legends that gave me all the faith I needed in Pokemon or in the game in Game Freak. It's not a perfect game, but it communicated to me that it had vision. It had a specific style that it was trying to go for. It felt so much fun to play. I felt like I was a kid living in the Pokemon universe, full of immersion, new Pokemon, great new ideas, breaking the formula. It was great. Scarlet and Violet was probably developed at the same exact time, so it's got some hiccups. Now I'm looking forward at new games that might come out, and that's kind of gonna be the deciding factor, right? You know, Legends sold okay. You know, they could easily be like, well, BDSP sold just as well, and we outsourced it, and we also didn't need to, you know, do anything different. So we'll see what the future holds.
I'm also a big Legends fan. Oh, Josie, please.
I was just gonna say, I wish that they would use some of Nintendo's resources a little bit more, like Monolith Soft or something, to help them not have such a crazy buggy overworld, or even like work with the Zelda team, because like, you know, not to fix their issues, but to maybe give them some ideas on how to actually make a game for a home console, because I think just coming from handhelds for so long and then moving to the Switch has just created sort of a big issue for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Josie, did you like Legends? Did that one hit for you?
I loved Legends. I think that's probably my favorite Pokemon game.
Are we a room of Legends appreciators?
Let's go.
Here? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No,
Legends
not
is so much fun.
I recently returned to Legends because I'm like, I'm tired of doing Masuda Method and Scarlet and Violet, because the thing with Scarlet and Violet is this will change with the DLC, hopefully, I'm sure. But like with Sword and Shield, I think it's the same thing, where the longevity of Scarlet and Violet is just not there. There's just not really much else to do, especially if you're not a shiny hunter. It's like, what now? I feel like the game is kind of weird to Nuzlocke with overworld encounters, if that's your space that you want to do. VGC is obviously all over the place with now home integration and bringing Pokemon over. And then there's the shiny hunting scene. Obviously, they've been doing the 7-star raids. And then obviously when home compatibility became a thing, you were able to bring more things over to be able to shiny hunt, like Hisuian forms, Alolan forms, all of that.
That's cool.
But I feel like Sword and Shield kind of had the same treatment, where it didn't really become like a long-term game until Dynamax Adventures were released. At least in my opinion. Like, I feel like Isle of Armor didn't really offer anything. And then Crown Tundra came out and Dynamax Adventures became a thing. And it was like, oh my gosh, now I can get all of the legendaries, and the shiny odds are ridiculous, and it's this online gameplay, and you can do it with friends.
Oh, I would love a feature like that in Scarlet and Violet in the DLC.
I'm hoping that maybe they'll do something similar with Terra raids, where we can get cool legendaries. Obviously, we're getting this 7-star Mewtwo, and we're getting a free Mew, which is really cool for those who weren't able to get it in BDSP if you didn't have a Let's Go file. So I think that's awesome, and it's like a random Terra type, I believe. So that's pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna be doing that. And you know, there's been leaks around like bringing Mew to Mewtwo raids and stuff like that. But they said in the presents, like, oh, something special happens when you bring Mew to a Mewtwo raid. So I'm curious if they'll do that. Like, if you have 2 people, like they do a Giratina Terra raid, right? And you have 2 people and they bring Palkia and Dialga, something happens, you know? Like, that would be something that's cool to me. And the only thing is like shiny lock is a thing. Like, you're not going to be able to get shiny Mewtwo from this. It's going to be a one and done, and then you just kind of help people and farm items, which most of the items you can get from any other Terra raid. But I think...
Yeah, really quick to clarify something. So the shiny lock on the legendaries, this is the reason that they implement this just simply because they know the shiny hunters exist and will do it, and they don't want that many people to have it? Like, what is the mentality there? Do you have any insight? Yeah.
This is why I mentioned that Pokemon hates shiny hunters earlier, because I genuinely don't understand why they did this. Yeah. And again, maybe this is me not being a game dev, and I think their main thought process behind shiny locking starters and shiny locking legendaries is for immersion, especially with them doing more cutscenes, right? Like, you have a cutscene with your starter, and if you have a shiny starter and then your starter is not shiny in the cutscene, it's like, well, that's not my Fuecoco, you know? And same with the legendaries, you know.
That's so silly, though.
In Sword and Shield, like, Zacian and Zamazenta had a lot of cutscenes, and they couldn't be shiny in those cutscenes. However, I can't imagine that it's that hard to set a toggle, especially when you go back to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where you can ride your shiny Charizard, you can ride your shiny Lapras. like it had a toggle knowing that this is your specific Lapras, this is your specific Charizard, and then they got rid of it.
Yeah. There was 5 years ago, there was a Masuda, Junichi Masuda quote where he literally said, "I'd be really sad to think that for fans, Pokemon is just hatching eggs." And I think that's why Let's Go, and this is actually cool. I think it was cool that they introduced new ways to shiny hunt that weren't just eggs. Same thing for Legends Arceus. Also, you didn't have to rely on eggs. But I really get upset when I think of like developers forcing players to play the game in a certain way. Because obviously, if you just go online, there's so many different communities of people playing Pokemon, whether it's Nuzlocking, shiny hunting, challenge runs, whatever, right? There's so many ways to enjoy the games.
Yeah, Let's Go, dude. The streak thing, that was awesome. As somebody that like was never gonna shiny hunt, when I saw that streak thing pop up, I was like, oh, I'll do this. I'll get a streak going, and then I get my blue Psyduck, and I'm a merry boy. So
which is great, but then like people do like doing eggs. I like doing eggs. Eggs is really, it's like, for me, when I used to do it, it was like mindless, right? You kind of get into a rhythm, which I like.
Yeah, I thought the egg process was fun in Scarlet and Violet, especially with the ability to get other shinies while you're hatching eggs. I think that's so fun. So that's why, like,
how does that work?
So obviously, like, shinies spawn in the overworld now in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So when you're running around with eggs to hatch them, you could just get a shiny in the overworld while you're doing it. So that's why, like, I'll be shiny hunting Fuecoco, right? And then I'll end up with like 25 overworld shinies before I even get the Fuecoco from the eggs.
I love that, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
I used to like IV or EV train my Pokemon just as a way to like also get in a bunch of wild encounters and potentially get a shiny.
Oh, and because you can do the eggs anywhere, it doesn't... I see. You can go wherever the spawns are for the thing you want to see.
Yeah, the way I do it is I'll get a bunch of eggs like before my stream. I'll spend like an hour and a half using the little egg power sandwiches, getting however many boxes of eggs. And then I just run around my entire map and I check all of my terror raids for like the herba droppers, And I'll end up traversing the entire map and I'm seeing, how many spawns the entire time. And end up finding like a couple shinies along the way while I'm hatching my eggs.
That sounds like a good time. Twitch.tv/Sunny. That's a good time. That's a good time. Honestly, I'm like, man, just like checking out the map, just like taking in the sights. That's a vibe. I like
some good views.
Okay, cool. So let's wrap things up here. There was a lot of stuff that we didn't get to cover, but I just want to say, like, after watching the DLC trailer, are you more positive on it, less positive, or about the same? Josie, let's start with you. Did it make you go, oh, this is now like on my radar, or just kind of middling?
I think I'm just about the same. I've always been like, oh, this is cool-ish. Like, I'll definitely play it and check it out, but didn't really get me hyped up, but it didn't, make my expectations drop or anything. So I'm just pretty much the exact same.
Yeah. Dusty, how about you?
I'm sorry, I was thinking about something else. I was
so
daydreaming.
Fine.
I was playing. I've been playing too much Pokemon Sleep. What was the question?
Are you more into the DLC having seen the trailer now? Are you more enthused?
I think, yeah, definitely. Mostly because I just kind of was like, oh, the DLC's so far away. Why get excited for it? But somehow it's literally in a couple weeks. So
yeah, sure.
I am excited for it now. Yeah.
And Kathy, you?
I'm definitely more excited. I think there's a lot of things that were introduced, new characters, more like hinting. Like, I think that little boy, Kieran, I think he's going to have a mental breakdown just based on what was shown in the trailer, which I think is really cool. And learning, I really enjoyed the Scarlet and Violet story, and I want to learn more about Area Zero. And I think that the DLC is going to offer that, and them hinting more and showing more, it definitely gets me more excited, and knowing it's coming in, just over a month is super hype.
I feel like what this discussion has done for me, it has reminded me that Pokemon's a good time. And I think the presentation, for real, I think the presentation, there are just like, even when my expectations are at rock bottom, I think if you're doing a presentation, it says to me that there is a enthusiasm to show something in particular. And I think the presentation doesn't have like a direction. It doesn't have like a clear message other than here's all of the stuff going on right now, and you happen to know about 99% of it already this time. Is that okay?
Or I think so.
Yeah, it's okay.
Pokemon's a lifestyle, you know? Pokemon Presents for me have always just... So yeah, you said it earlier. Nintendo Directs are like, here are the new things that you should get excited about and purchase. Pokemon Presents are like, it's like a little check-in, right? It's like a quarterly meeting. It's like, this is what's going on right now.
Wow.
Right? And I know what's going on because I'm on Twitter, but not everyone does.
Interesting. Okay. Kathy, do you feel the same way about this?
Yeah, honestly, like I never thought about it that way, but yeah, it kind of makes sense. Like there's very minor updates, but like 99% of this is leaked ahead of time anyway. If you're on Twitter, you see it. The Mewtwo raids, been there, done that. I've been new. I knew this was coming, and the way that they advertised the presents was the same way they advertised the Mewtwo raids back on Sword and Shield. So it was like everyone kind of knew if you've been in the scene for a while. So.
All right.
It's still exciting though.
Okay, listen, I've learned something then. Here's my advice to the Pokemon Company. All you gotta do to change the reception to these things, don't make it live. Make it a YouTube video that just pops up. And it is more of a, hey, here's your update. You know what I mean? When it's live, it feels like an event to me. It feels like they want reactions, you know?
Dude, I want a reaction.
That was not a reaction stream. It was not. I was reacting to it. It was not. So it was a quarterly update. And I kind of like that vibe. Bring out a Pikachu in a suit. Have him unbutton his suit, but pull out a stack of papers and go through his, you know what I mean? That's the energy I want in the next Pokemon Presents. But
yeah, we got that was the creepy Detective Pikachu plush sitting in the back.
Not him. Oh god. I made fun of him in a video today.
That's scary.
Before everybody goes, what I want to know from you is 1, where people can find your content, but 2, who is your favorite Pokemon? Josie, let's start with you.
Okay, you can find me at YouTube, Josie Woah. I just make, Nintendo Switch content, that kind of deal. My favorite Pokemon? Say, I like Totodile a lot. Totodile.
Heck yeah, Totodile. Sick. I was not expecting a Gen 2 Pokemon from you.
Yeah.
And Kathy?
Yeah, you could primarily find me on twitch.tv/Sunny. It's Sunny with an IE. And my favorite Pokemon is Eevee. So much so that I named my cat after it. So,
was Let's Go Eevee like a big deal for you?
Yes and no. I was definitely a little bit weirded out by like the Pokemon Go mechanics of it. But I was pretty excited, and that's also when I got my Switch. So I have like the Eevee Switch case and everything. So it definitely meant a lot to me at the time.
All right. Well, Eevee gets a lot of attention in merch, so I think maybe you're a little ungrateful. And if it was Pokemon Let's Go Psyduck, I would never stop talking about it. Okay, it would be half my personality.
Well, you've adopted Eevee as a second mascot, basically. So it's like at this point, it's almost expected. But I mean, listen, I am very happy about it. I've got shelves of Eevee merch everywhere. Cool. So,
Dusty.
I'm Dusty Go-Goat. You can find me on YouTube. I'm on all platforms, but you can find me on YouTube. We cover all things Pokemon theories, speculation, Fakemon, and the future of Pokemon. You can also catch me at Hidden Power Podcast. That's on all streaming platforms, as well as YouTube. It's a video podcast where we talk about Pokemon news, also theories, leaks, rumors. A lot of speculation goes on there. We go, if you like to deep dive into Pokemon lore, that's the place to be. And there's an episode with Jake. So if you like Jake, if you're watching this, you're like, I want more Jake.
Don't make that a parameter. And who's your favorite Pokemon?
Scizor or Sableye, sometimes Kingdra. I got a lot of them.
So not Go-Go.
No, not Go-Goat. Go-Goat's cool. Go-Goat is cool. It looks like kind of looks like a dog. It's got the demeanor of like a fluffy dog, but it's also like a noble steed, right? So that was the thought process with that. And then Dusty is actually not even my name. My name's Liam, but that's going to mess up the brand.
I wasn't going to tell anybody.
That's going to mess up the brand.
I wasn't, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. You'll find links to everything that was just mentioned in the description below. I'm Jake. Don't you dare follow me anywhere. And thank you for watching this Game Explained discussion. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.